Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 2080 of What Shipped and Out, documenting my journey. Originally, as I jumped online from the offline world, spent over a quarter century in corporate America in some really cool I'd say some of the best organizations on the planet, both privately held and uh, probably Fortune 50 for sure, as well as some smaller privately held organizations, actually not small, big, back then $100 million plus companies. And I learned a lot. Well, I simultaneously had my own businesses. I started my first business when I was 13. And from then on, I was sold on entrepreneurship, and that it was really empowering to have something on the side as well as my regular corporate career, because it made it possible for me to make decisions and choices that were in alignment with who I really am versus just doing what other people thought that I should do. It meant I could switch corporations and I could move from industry to industry because I gave myself permission to do that, right? Otherwise, there's a whole lot of pressure once you go into a certain role or a certain field to stay in that field no matter what. And I got that pressure in my first corporate job. I stayed there about 5 years, but I had always wanted to not just stay in engineering and management. I wanted to be in manufacturing leadership, but I also wanted to learn about the marketing side of the business. And in that corporation, that wasn't an option. You were on either the engineering track, the management track, or the sales and marketing track. There was no crossing over until you reach like the senior vice president level. And I wasn't willing to wait that long before I could learn all the different skills that I wanted to have to help me in my own businesses as well as the businesses that I worked for. So I've had a different type of career than a lot of people have. I'm sure there's other people that have had a similar career path to me, but mine's been different and unique because I chose to pick and choose the parts that I liked about different areas of life and build on those. And then the things I didn't like, I just decided I wasn't going to do anymore, if that makes sense. It's kind of like cleaning the bathroom. I don't like cleaning the bathroom. I don't know. It's just a thing I don't like doing. Maybe because we had lots of bathrooms in our house when I was a kid, and we all had to help with chores and clean the bathroom. And that was my least favorite thing to do. I would rather go out and shovel the stalls in the barn than clean the bathroom. So now I don't clean the bathroom, right? I hire somebody to do that for me because I don't like doing it. So I learned and gave myself permission a long time ago to not do the things that I don't like to do. Now, there's still things we have to do that you might not love to do, but we can change our perspective on how we look at those things. Like, you might not like to brush your teeth or go to the dentist, but there's things we need to do to maintain a certain level of health and hygiene, right? So today, our idiom was one that's very interesting, and I have some personal history with this one in terms of some of the biggest lessons I've had to learn in my life kind of come out of this idiom. It's ask me no questions and I'll tell you no lies. And it's very old. It's from the 16th century. It's been used by playwrights. John Gay in 1728 used it in the Beggar's Opera, and then in 1773 it was in a playwright Oliver Goldsmith's She Stoops to Conquer, and then Charles Dickens' chapter 2 of Great Expectations, as well as Proverbs and the Bible, etc. It's been around for hundreds of years because probably people have been telling lies or not asking questions since humans have existed, right? The cavemen and cavewomen, the caveman didn't come home one night, so the cavewoman probably just didn't ask, right? She figured he was out hunting or something. Who knows? I have no idea. But for a long time, people have been telling fibs or not asking questions. And I've, had a bad life partner, bad business partners, and that's on them. It's really them because they chose to behave in ways that were unacceptable and immoral and unethical. But it's also on me because I did not ask or investigate thoroughly enough the right questions at the right time, right? Whenever you get suspicious, you make excuses for people that you care about. And as you're making those excuses or giving them the benefit of the doubt, chances are it's because you don't want to know the answer. I know I was totally guilty of that. I didn't want to know the truth or the real answer. Or I didn't want to think that somebody was behaving in ways to hurt me, because we think people that love us are there to help and do the right thing, but everybody isn't, right? Everybody's got their own agenda. Everybody's got their own thoughts and beliefs and experiences, and they work off of those, not off of what we think they should be. So I think it's a great idiom. I think it's a great reminder on both sides of the fence. Number one, be honest, be authentic, be true, and tell the truth. And if you want to do something that is, not going to be in alignment with the person that you're with, just cut it off with them and then go do your thing. The other thing is to remind us to ask those tough questions, listen for the answer, but then still do some research and investigation. Don't just take it on surface value. Have you ever hired somebody off their resume without calling their references? If you have, and they weren't who they said they were, shame on you. Shame on them for lying, but shame on you and your organization for not doing your homework and doing your due diligence. If you've ever made a bad investment, and I guarantee I am guilty of this, because I didn't do or didn't have access to the information I needed, and instead of saying no, you don't want to miss that opportunity, so you jump on the bandwagon only to find out that what was presented, what looked good on paper, was not what was really going on in the organization. That's why I don't like to do and invest in the stock market anymore. I found through a lot of experiences that you can lose everything like that because of someone else's bad behavior, because we don't have access to the information that we need in order to decide if we're going to invest in something or not. That's why my investments are in real estate, in businesses that I do my due diligence about and really, really look into. And I ask those tough questions. And if I don't like the answers, or I don't get the answers, or if somebody's being evasive, the answer is just no for me. No, I'm not going to choose to participate. So, good idiom to remind me to ask the questions and then continue to do my homework and dig. Usually, if we struggle in our businesses, it's because we jumped in without doing homework. Now, again, you don't want to get analysis paralysis and never make a choice or a decision, but you also don't want to shortcut because of things that we haven't investigated, if that makes sense. I think it makes sense, but the right amount of risk and investment and asking questions is totally up to you. It's different, a little different for each of us. And I learned through some really hard lessons that you have to ask those questions, even if you don't want to hear the answer. And probably if you think you don't want to hear the answer, it's even more important to ask the questions. I guess that's been my lesson learned. What do we got today? In this year's annual challenge, we are talking about contribution and how we impact the world outside of us, what's bigger than us, our legacy, what we contribute to, how we want to show up in the world. How do we decide if we're going to make the world a better place because we've done here? I personally work with people and believe that we all want to positively impact the world around us and at least the people we love and care about, right? And that's contribution too. Sometimes people think, well, if I'm not donating X amount of dollars to charity or to my religious faith or whatever, then I'm not contributing. And that's poppycock, right? Number one, there's a lot more ways to contribute than money. I think our time is more valuable than money. Our attention and our education and the lessons that we've learned, if we're sharing those, that's way more valuable than money, because who knows how much you're saving people if, like me revealing that I've made mistakes in terms of my life partner and partners in my business and really screwed up by not asking questions. If that even helps one person to ask those tough questions and saves them the heartache that I went through, then I think that's worth it. And that is contributing more than money could ever be factored into it. All right, that's it. You can ask me anything, by the way, any questions, anything you want to know, ask. You might not like the answer, but I will tell you based on my experience, because that's all I can tell you. I don't know what your experience will be or has been, but based on my experience, this is what happened when I didn't ask the questions. This is what happened when I did. This is what happened when I failed in this business or lost this job or whatever. Ask away, because I will tell you. I will tell you anything you want to know. All right, that's it. Have an awesome day, and I'll, of course, see you tomorrow.